Well, they got more packages than I bargained for. Greetings. Welcome to a blurb about some things from Serge over at Serdashop.com. I've covered many things that they sell over the years. It's just a bunch of insanely awesome stuff, especially for old sound cards and things for retro PCs. But yeah, like the Dream Blasters and MT32 Pi kind of things, OPL whatever, and the Picos and the things. I've covered so many of these, and I have a lot of them. And every so often, there's something else, I'm on the newsletter and stuff, and I'll just see like something that I've got to order. And then Serge got in touch, and he's like, hey, there's some others. You want to check those out too? And I'll send them along. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we'll see what we got in here. I don't actually know what all is in here, but it's turbo displays. I know that much. A whole box of goodies. I ordered at least a couple of them myself. So I think he sent along some extras, some handy cables. And let's see here. All right, so yeah, these are the ones that I actually bought. The Turbo Display Triple McDigit Edition with 3D printed bay enclosures for 3.5 inch and some 5.25 inch. I think I chose the beige ones. And yeah, you can see some pricing there. Also included a free gift. All right, this is fascinating. So, on those old computers, the computer cases, like my wood grain 486 especially. Oh, some extra thingies in here too. Oh man, a bunch of stickers and like coasters and stuff, I guess. It's an Alley Cat, among other things. Oh yeah, just a bunch of different games. Well, that's cool. Anyway, yeah, turbo displays. One of the most awesome things on old computer cases. But typically, though, if you want to get one, you need to get the computer case to go with it. And, well, not anymore, right? So, yeah, we have 3.5 inch and 5.25 inch versions of the Triple McDigit. A really, really cool project because this gives you a turbo button and display that you can just drop into your computer. And instead of having like a million annoying little jumpers, you have these little switches, and then that'll show whatever display you want to go between for your speeds. So megahertz display, you could have it say 100 or 66 or, whatever. Maybe you can make it say letters. If I can get that to say LGR, that'd be great. Like, it doesn't look exactly right, but it can kind of be done in this sort of display. It sort of looks like L6A, but this right here is the full 5.25 inch version, and I am enjoying the print quality here from what I'm seeing. That's quite nice, actually. Really nice. Nice clicky little button. So it seems like the same just kind of hardware, just split up into different enclosures. Makes sense. Of course, you could print these yourself in any color, but yeah, and here's a stealth edition. So it's kind of like hidden behind here and it would just shine through. I find that to be really interesting. But yeah, I'm so curious to put these to the test. This one especially, or really whatever else is in here. It's the kind of little thing that just, putting it into a custom build and maybe giving me some extra leeway to try a different case here and there. Because sometimes I pick a case just for the built-in turbo display or button. So many coasters! We're handing these out of VCF. All right, so I'm not actually sure what the difference is. I'm gonna have to look up the emails here. He just said, I'd send them over. Okay, interesting. Again, really curious to see what the difference is there. And yeah, some assembly required, but it's gonna be real easy, just a couple of screws. Yeah, again, I'll have to look up the email really quick and see here. Okay, so the new one has a stronger design on the 3.5 inch sides in particular. Option for a dimmed display. So yeah, the two extra ones there, that is a stronger 3.5 inch version and 5.25 inch with the green tape applied. Oh, there's a manual too. So that's nice. Also some minor changes to the dip switches apparently. This is the newer one, right? I already mixed them up. Yeah, I could see how that was a bit... Oh yeah, that's definitely stronger. So that makes sense. Oh yeah, so the switches, they are literally flipped. So I guess this is how it's going to be from now on if you were to order one of them. It's such a cool idea. I mean, I've literally sought out these kind of things before, like tried to anyway, and was never able just to find like drive bay turbo thingies on their own. They're pretty much always built into a case. All right, so I got a Windows 95 computer here. This is a build that I built a while back in LGR, and I'm just now realizing that all the drive bays are full, so this is the wrong choice. But anyway, it was accessible, and I didn't have to like go digging through a bunch of storage to find it. And it's going to have the power connections we need at least. So yeah, you can see that obviously the beige color is going to be very different. It's very extremely notoriously hard to match beige, no matter what color you print in terms of beige choices. I don't think you're ever going to match anything, which is why I tend to go with black for my drive bays and this kind of thing. This one also does have its own turbo button and display there, but it doesn't have this kind of a display, so this would look awesome in here. If I put this compact flash maybe in a rear mounted situation instead of having it in the front, and then yeah, get like a black version of this or print out a black version, I think I would love to have this in here because this would look amazing. So anyway, let's just open it up and power them on at least, just see what they look like. I guess I still have the what was that, the Edge card in there, the NVIDIA NV1 Sega Saturn Edge 3D thing. That's what this is. Oh my goodness, I'm trying out a new camera mount here and it's so annoyingly bouncy. Anyway, I don't think that's gonna last. But yeah, this is a case that I don't really go in very often at all because of that slightly annoying design of it and everything. And it's kind of cramped in here, but it's awesome. And we're gonna have some kind of power connection we can tap into. Yeah, I'll just use that. It's fine. I really just need the power supply. Again, if I had like my normal power supply, like just a standalone bench power supply that I like to use for testing, I would just use that instead, but that stuff is all packed up in storage. Molex to a couple of these like floppy disk style connectors, but that's cool. We can have a couple of them plugged in at once and do some comparisons. We'll just do these two first, which are the older. If you do buy one of these, I'm assuming it'll be different. Cool. Well, that's those. I don't actually know what they're set to display, but find out here real quick. Ooh, that's beautiful. So it's amber. Somehow I had the impression that they were green, but I guess that's what this is for. Well, now I'm really curious. Hey, Flurbnerp, turn everything off. Well, I'm gonna turn the overhead off too. So yeah, those are beautiful. And you can see we have a couple of different options here. So your turbo button, if you had that connected to the turbo header on your motherboard. And really all this is doing, is just a display and a toggle switch to activate whatever your motherboard wants to do. But yeah, this is interesting. This is very interesting, the difference between the two. I mean, I do like them both. Like, this is so bright. It's so bright and awesome, but very, very bright. I like this a little bit better. He did say that there was a dimmer option. So yeah, the different switches are going to affect what's displayed or not. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just just moving things around. So maybe don't do this. Maybe look up what you're trying to do first. But anyway, you can see now that we have 100 and 200. So if for some reason turbo mode went down to 100 megahertz, you could do that, or 200. Anyway, yeah, that's all these things do. They just show something in terms of numbers, I guess. That's it. So it's interesting, like some of them, the older ones, or like the original ones from back in the day, they would, with all of the different, hold on, let me turn the lights on again. All right, so yeah, like you could actually control the individual segments through jumpers, and it doesn't look like necessarily that's going to be the case here. So I don't think you would be able to, say, custom put in letters or something that kind of looked like letters. I mean, obviously we're only talking about 8 segments here, or 7 segments rather. So let's see what these look like. They do look wonderful though. They really do. Makes me think of the center control panel, like the time circuits on the Back to the Future DeLorean. Beautiful. I do kind of wish they were green though, or like there was a green option, but we do have this one. So let's see what that's like. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Wow. Okay. I see what you're going for now, and I see why you did that. That is probably my favorite. That looks very, very authentic. You know, it's got like a sort of a texture there. It'd be great if you can get this kind of look without the texture. Maybe you could with the right tape, but yeah, that is very good looking. I love that. Okay, well, let me look up the manual here and see if we have any other options we can play with. So yeah, all those other pins, you got turbo in, polarity for turbo in, some other different things, turbo out, input behavior setting. So it sets the input behavior for motherboard's turbo output as a latching output. You can set it to that or momentary, like a short pulse. You know, I think I have run across that where like certain boards wouldn't work on, like say the style of turbo switch that I had on my wood grain 486. And like it just wouldn't activate the turbo behavior, I guess, on the motherboard itself. So maybe that's why I wasn't doing that. Yeah, this is the stuff that I want to see here. So, right, we just have our 10 digits. So that makes sense. It's just set to use those type of things. And then there are the dip switches. There's also a section about enabling the decimal point. I was wondering about that. So that's an option too. Get a block diagram of the whole thing. Schematics. This is wonderful stuff. Okay, so it's just the green tape dims the display. It's not like a switch or an option or whatever. So okay, yeah, it does look a little bit dimmer, but it's also more green. Be interesting to try some other tapes. Really, the only colorful tapes I have on hand are going to be like these gaff tape type deals, and that's, you're not going to see through that really. But yeah, Serge also says he started this project more than 2 years ago, initially thinking it would be an easy, quick PCB project. Halfway changed my mind and went from a working prototype with Atmel CPU plus software, entering values and all that stuff, to classic logic chips and dip switches, which feel so much better. And I agree there. So very, classic logic, PCB packed with components on both sides, dip switches and jumpers, not another fiddly digital device. So, I mean, it is still kind of that, but you're not working through like software to configure it or anything, which is great. I love having all the switches, and having a good couple or a few options to choose from is wonderful as well. This really seems to be thought well through nicely, and I expect nothing less from a Serdashop thing. Heck yeah, all the different options here. I set this one to something else. All right, so this should be just a 1. Oh yeah. So we should just be able to have this. Bunch of 1s. Neat. Yeah, I see what he means about the upside down being a little wonky. But that, of course, is switched around on the new revision. So that makes sense. And that should be a 9, and then we'll turn the zeros off. I mean, had to do it. So yeah, there are your turbo displays. I do wish that there was like just a green option, like the segments just being green themselves, self-illuminating as green. The amber is beautiful though, but I mean, they all look awesome. The stealth one's a cool look. This is such a cool project. And what was it, 45 euro or something like that for one of these. If you're interested, I'll put a link in the description. Not affiliated with or anything. I'm just a big fan of these projects from them, and I was happy to buy them and also happy to receive some extras here. So that's it for this. Thanks for watching.